And we're back with another ALANUI MELE Hawaii hip hop history on PBS Hawaii. I'm your host, Kevin the Catalyst. And as usual, we're always on Oahu because Oahu, seems to be the mecca, the New York, the LA. But I do not ever forget about the neighbor islands and the contribution that they have given to Hawaii's hip hop. And I've been wanting to get this guy on because as a turntablist and DJ myself coming up, um, the internet wasn't very prominent at the time, and the only way you got to see who was battling in these turntable battles was through VHS, maybe DVDs. And then one day we popped in one and we seen a guy representing Hawaii named DJ Skinny Guy. And we were like, on Oahu, we're like, who the heck is this? Like, wait a minute. What? We're not the only guys doing it? And this guy's not even from Oahu. Where is he from? And then we found out, oh, he's from Maui. Like, dude, we got to figure out who this is. But through time, we got to find out who this is and got to meet him up and link to mutual friends. Shout out to Wando, BM13, and Memoirs Benji, and Nocturnal, the rest of the turntablists, as well as many others. But I'd like to introduce, all the way from Maui, DJ Skinny Guy. What up?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, nice to
Still
dude,
skinny.
yeah, exactly. Still skinny. Dude, it's got to be the Filipino blood because you still look the same pretty much.
It's the Filipino blood.
Are you are you pure Filipino?
According to those DNA tests,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't
Nice.
take it. My daughter took it and she
Right.
told me she came back exactly half Filipino.
Right.
So I'm like, yep, so I must be pure.
Awesome. And, and then what did your wife say? You are the father. No, 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 no. But anyway, shoot, man, thank you for joining us here at Alanui Mele, or Hip Hop History on PBS Hawaii. Just break down your name, DJ Skinny Guy. How'd you get DJ Skinny Guy?
Oh, cool. Well, first, thanks for having me. I'm glad you reached out to outer the other islands. It's always great to know, good to know that there is a scene going on, and it's just good to know that there's other people out there.
Yeah,
Feels-
definitely.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the name Skinny Guy. Yeah. So when me and the guys were all thinking of a name for me, I was kind of like, you know, just couldn't think of anything. Um, until one day I remembered like this one guy that he used to hang with us. He would he was a kind of big fat guy, and every time we go eat, he'd always be sneaking stuff off my plate.
Right.
Like, oh, I like your pickles. Like, oh man. And then like at gigs, I would always be, stuck lifting all the big heavy gear.
Right, right.
So I just started complaining, and it was like, man, why is it every time gotta move the heavy speakers, it's always the skinny guy? And why is it whenever you guys snake food, it's always from the skinny guy? And then they turn around and it's like, I think we're just gonna call you that, the skinny guy, DJ Skinny Guy. I was like, yeah, whatever's, man.
Nice.
And it kind of just stuck.
That's classic. What year was that when you first got the Skinny Guy name?
That would be when I first started, so that's like early 90s,
39.
1991-ish.
Right, right. Before that, did you were you like DJing, a bedroom DJ? Were you like just solo in your room trying to discover turntables and records and
Well, let's see. Well, I started off DJing, hung around with that fat guy,
yeah.
right? His name's Hev, of course. We
Shout out to Hev.
Hev Be Wild. Yeah.
Oh, Hev. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard that name. Hev Be Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. That's him.
Yep.
So he was with DJ Blast. He would produce his beats.
Oh, nice.
Since we were hanging with him, we were same grade, and he's like, "Hey, come hang with us after school, and we can to go to parties and stuff." So we ended up hanging with his crew, becoming part of the crew and
What
stuff.
what crew was that?
Uh, he called it Chilltown,
Right.
Chilltown Productions. And so, yeah, just getting into doing all the parties and stuff. And then one day, Blast was like, I always wanted to, get a protege, teach somebody going. And I was like, hmm, it sounds like fun. I mean, I remember trying to listen to those mega mixes on the radio stations, Oahu stations, if we could catch them, because
Yeah.
Maui didn't have that.
Right, right, right.
Um, so yeah, I wondered how they did all those mega mixes and stuff like that. So I was like, I volunteered, and he's like, okay, shoots. And then he started showing me the ropes.
Oh, so DJ Blast is a big figure in Maui hip hop,
Uh,
kind of
Pretty much.
expanding the culture of turntablism, DJing, cutting, scratching, mixing.
Yeah. And everybody knew where he went because he had this big old van and had
Right.
graffiti on the side and
Nice.
stuff. So everybody would notice it.
So
So
did you experience any hip hop in Maui in the 80s when you're growing up?
when I was, well, like breakdancing, of
Right.
course, tried my hand at that. Nope, I wasn't that great. Only do the backspins. I didn't have the muscle power to do all the
Right.
complicated stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so say breakdancing. So is there any B-boys, B-girls come to mind that represented Maui in the 80s, early
80s?
90s?
It would have been bits and pieces, I believe. I think. Was
Okay.
it? Was it? I think they were bits and pieces.
Are they from Maui?
I think they were poppers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know, pretty sure that's the name that I remember from back
Right,
then.
right, right.
It's a couple guys that just lived down the road from me too. So
Oh,
it's like, oh yeah, hometown.
so down the road is where? What area of Maui?
Well, I'm upcountry Maui.
Country Maui. So that would be
Wow.
Makawao. Okay,
Right
okay.
by Comoras, bro.
Oh, nice. So then 80s took your hand in b-boy, tried a little bit of that. What about like any graffiti? MC?
Graffiti never really knew anybody. I mean, I tried some,
Yeah.
but it never went anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as far as no, I don't remember too many.
Right, right, right. So what gravitated, were you always gravitating toward music as a youngin, or it's hip hop that really that the hip hop sound really brought you in?
Maybe it was a bit of the music, but then, you know, with the hearing the mixes on the radio and stuff, and all that, you hear all the scratching and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's like, oh, how do they do that?
Right, right, right.
I remember playing on my parents' turntable, the old record player
Yeah.
with a um what I have. I think it was a Mars pump up the volume. There's a little scratching break on there. So like, oh,
Right.
I'll try copy that.
Yeah.
So with only like a paper slip mat too. And I was like, so I found out, like, oh, it's different sounds that make, the different scratches. Like, oh, this is the bass kick sounds like this, and the
Right,
snare sounds like that. I was like, oh. And then I was always wondering how they made the other stuff, like the and I was like,
right, right.
is that something, I don't know, with another gadget or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, come to find out, it's just another sound effect. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then when I went with Blast, then he helped explain like, oh, this is the fader, this is what this does. So I was like, oh, okay. And
Oh,
he introduced me. Well, he was Blast was always, I guess, East Coast and Europe influenced,
okay.
and he learned from watching Wild Style and
Wow.
stuff. He learned DJing. He taught himself beat mixing and everything. So he learned all that off Wild Style. So he had very hip hop influenced DJing.
Right,
And so
right.
that kind of transferred over to me.
And then
And
how is he older than you? Way older than you?
a few years
Years.
older.
Right, right. But a few years with hip hop is a lot. Is almost a lot. If somebody is like back in the early 90s, late 80s, if you're 3 years ahead of somebody in like cutting, scratching, mixing, blending, juggling, that's a lot. So I mean, you know what I mean? So he took you on as a protege, and then did you automatically gravitate more towards the turntablism side or just discovering mixing?
I think, well, since he always liked the East Coast hip hop stuff and European dance stuff, so that's kind of where my musical influences came. And then with the hip hop stuff, like there's all the scratching and like I said, when I was younger, I was like, how they make that sound? So
Right.
that's kind of when I started to get more into the turntablism aspect. And even when MTV showed that one clip, they brought him on. I forget.
Oh man, what was that?
They brought him on to one of their, I
Scribble? Was it
guess,
Scribble?
no, it was before Scribble. It was when they just had like open dancing, like was it Club MTV or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. And they brought in somebody
They
to do
brought in a DJ and he was just swinging the snare and stuff like that. There's the DMC champ and was just watching like, wow, what is this guy doing and stuff.
like a
So
US, was it a US DMC champion? Do you know? It's gotta be, right? DJ David,
mm,
DJ. Who
I
was,
think it was David.
okay, yeah. I
Might
mean,
have
I'm
been.
trying to think of the first DJ championships. I know David won twice, I think.
It might have been him that they brought on.
Cash Money, did Cash
But
Money win? Was it Cash? Was he black or was he white?
I think it was White. I think he was doing something with like he was just doing doubles with like
Right.
Janet Jackson
Oh, yeah.
because it was at a club setting, so he was
That
playing Janet.
that's probably DJ. If you guys know, if you guys watch this and you guys know, forgive us, but just put it down there and comment like, "Hey, it was this," or
Uh,
I'll do the research and I'll put in a little disclaimer. But yeah, this is that would be taking it back to if it's a DMC champion, that'd probably be somebody in the late '80s. But so was there anybody else like deep into the cuts and scratching and
yeah. Um, he actually turned out to be a classmate of mine, same grade, same
oh,
school. We went to school together. I think he got into DJing a little before me, so he has a bit more experience.
right, right.
So, um, ooh, somebody's mowing the lawn. I'm gonna shut the window.
Okay, awesome. Love it, love it.
Okay.
Don't worry. I rather have like the realness than like yeah. I think it lends to more like a human element than like
Yeah.
over editing and producing. So I think I leave this kind of stuff in because to me
Oh,
it's like awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, okay. So who's that? What school is that? What high school is that? Or
Maui High,
oh yeah, hi, nice. Where's that located?
Kahului, Maui.
And then the classmate was
Joe Cortez. He's also known as DJC,
DJC.
Devastating Joe Cortez. Um, after high school, he moved to Oahu for school, and he hooked up with James Cole.
Oh wow, the
And
web.
yeah, so he was doing stuff on I-94 and clubs like that. And
How'd
he
you
was
end up?
the
Yeah,
guy.
how'd you end up linking up? How'd you end up finding out he actually was into turntablism too?
Um, I think he found out that I was DJing and trying to get into scratching and stuff
Right.
like that. So we met up. He came over the house and we were just practicing and stuff, fooling around, and we just kept in touch. And then I think he was telling me about a time that he battled Spaz and stuff. And
Oh, when he was on Oahu.
yeah. And I think that's when he found out about Battle Records. So it's
Okay.
like, oh man, he used the rectangles on me. I was like,
Oh, DJ
what?
Rectangle. Yep, yep.
And then like, yeah, so he had the DMC videotapes and stuff. So I was like, there's videotapes. Whoa. So yeah, that I started, trying to find how to get them, just looking everywhere, like hip hop magazines
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Because we didn't
Remember,
really have internet back then.
right?
So we
You
had to,
remember Upstairs Records?
yeah. I remember seeing those ads. Yeah.
I bought my first pair of Geminis from Upstairs Records, saved my money, and I got a money order at the bank. And then
Oh,
I sent it there to New York. And back then you put a check in an envelope and you mail your life away. $600, I think it was, for two turntables and a scratch master. And you're like, I can't believe that I mean, we'd have to do that kind of stuff.
You
Not
just
knowing
pray you don't get ripped off.
exactly. The check literally said upstairs records, and they could just take it and cash it and be like,
Yep.
okay. But I mean, it's funny that you said that because I got that because it was in the back of the source, maybe. I think it was a source or rap pages. And
Uh,
that's how I got my first turntables because like you, even though I was on Oahu, I didn't know anybody. Like it's kind of weird. I'm on Oahu, but I was so young, I didn't know anybody. And the only
there
thing I
was
knew was the magazines.
there's nothing here. So it's like is we're lucky we could find we had like, Source magazine,
Yeah.
so we could find look at the ads and like, oh, they got DMC tapes. I'll order from them and
Right.
stuff.
So you
Or
had to mail
find my
order the DMC tapes.
yeah, I had to order those and then oh, I don't know how, but I think, the scene slowly started to get bigger and there was like of the Vestax competition. I think Joe told me about it. I was like, there's a
Okay.
Vestax on what? So I went, had to go hunt that down and
Yeah,
order
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And it's like, I got to watch it. Like, oh man. And you just it's like, oh, one of these days I'm gonna get that gold turntable, I'm gonna get the jacket and stuff,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the only way we got info was just looking on the back of those tapes and like
Yeah.
calling them up and
Right.
stuff. You got any more, videos or whatever? What's going on? When's the next one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
For people that don't know, he's talking about so DMC is was actually a DJ competition first, not really a turntablism. It kind of morphed to turntablism. And then if you win that, you get two gold 1200s, Technique 1200s, and the championship jacket. And that's what Skinny Guy is talking about. And that was kind of like the thing, like not even the thing, it was the thing that if you were going to enter a, a DMC, you wanted that trophy, because it's legendary. And then so you're on
that's
Maui,
like the Olympics. That's
yeah,
like the Olympics for DJing.
right, yeah,
That's
totally.
our gold medal. It's the
That
jacket
is.
and the gold decks. It's
I
like,
mean, to some extent, I mean, it's kind of crazy because they kind of died for a little bit, but they're. Have you been keeping up with DMC lately?
um, kind of. Yeah, I still tune in whenever they have the big battles and stuff
Right,
like
right.
that.
Are you impressed with even with the technology, the level of cutting?
Oh, the scratching, it's wicked. Some of the I don't know. You gotta evolve with it
Right.
though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You gotta evolve. But yeah, some of it just takes away some of the things that we had to learn or we went through.
Right.
But
The cue
I mean,
points,
yeah, cue point,
records.
that gentle touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to learn a gentle touch so you don't skip.
Right. And some of the best
Yeah.
parts was like just putting the tape or the cassette label at the perfect point on the record so your needle clicks to that.
Yeah.
I don't think DJs nowadays know that struggle. Like you're literally ruining let's say Gangstar. You're ruining a Gangstar single, but by putting a little piece of tape on the record so your needle would lock in.
And that costs money, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what, $6 for one song, one record.
Right. That's
And you got to buy two for
yeah.
double. If you want to make a routine, if you want
Right.
to use it for regular play, you got to buy another
Right.
two.
Right. Right.
So
So what point did you like? So you get all these tapes. Yeah, Mr. DJ C is going back from Oahu to Maui. Kind of flowing you what's going on Oahu, and then when was the point you're like, you know what? I want to try and enter one of these battles.
yeah, so at that point, I was hungry for battles. I just, I'm young, you think you're invincible,
Right.
right? So, um, the closest I could get was like since Maui had nothing and he was on Oahu, I was like, tell me when there's some battles on Oahu. And he would like maybe 1 year, dude, there's something going on.
Yeah.
So fly up and that's how I entered some of the battles over there.
Oh, so you entered Battles here on Oahu.
Um,
Do you
maybe
remember
like
which one?
two or three. The first one, I don't even remember where it was. I think it was in some warehouse club, maybe near the airport. I
Okay,
don't know my way
okay.
around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just remember I won that one.
Right.
I don't remember who else entered, but I remember when I was switching records, there was like a big fan on stage keeping everybody cool, and that blew the plastics
Oh my God.
under my mat, and I was just so nervous. I just put the record on, and it just
Oh, what?
kept going. But I somehow ended up winning. I
Right.
think it's because I did the Peter Piper. You know,
Right.
everybody does the
Right.
flashing with the Peter Piper.
Yeah.
Bad, 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 bad. I think so that I won that one. And then there was another one.
You don't remember who else you battled then?
That one, no, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, you don't remember who else was who anybody else that entered. Do you remember anybody?
There another battle. Um, was it that one club by UH? I think
Source,
it might
maybe?
um by is like walking distance from the beat.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that might have been the source.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Source. Okay, that sounds familiar.
All right.
So I heard of another battle there, and I went to that one. And I think that was when the I just we just figured out how to do the crab scratch and stuff.
What?
And like I don't think anybody had figured out the flare yet on
Oh,
this side. Well, on Oahu, I don't know
right. Yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah, as far as we knew, that was like the flare or the
yeah.
crab was like, how do you do that?
Right.
So I
Because
went
everything
to
was
that one.
Transformers,
Yeah.
dabs, jabs, yeah, and all that stuff.
So I think we went to that battle at the source and like, I guess there's that main room where everybody parties and stuff, and
Right.
there's that little back room.
Yeah.
Yeah. The DJ battle got pushed to the back room because. And I only remember hearing one other name and DJ Scarred,
Scarred.
I think.
I do remember that name.
That was the only other name because I was like, that stuck with me because
Yeah.
like Scarred, like the record from
Right.
Luke. But
Yeah, yeah.
so that was the only other name I remember from that. But I think I ended up winning that one
Oh,
back
nice.
at battles. But yeah.
I have no idea where I was. I thought I went to everything. That's why. So this was before you even entered the DMC, IT, anything, any
Yeah.
kind of mainland battle.
I was trying to figure out how to get to those.
Right, right.
So on the back of the videotapes, I was just trying to call whoever's and ask, when's the next one? Where's it gonna be? Because I was just, let's do this. I don't care who's out there. In fact, I was like, I don't care if Qbert, Babu's in it. I'm going.
Yeah, let's
I don't give a
go.
rip, you know. So I think I ended up calling Vestax
Okay.
because they had the Vestax battle, and
Right, right, right. That's before ITF.
yeah,
It was a Vestax battle, right?
that was before. And whoever answered the phone,
Right.
I believe it might have been Rhett or one of the visionaries or somebody.
Shout out
And he was
TJ
like,
Rhetmatic.
well, they were like, nah, man, don't worry about the DMCs. This next one is gonna be huge. It's gonna be the biggest. These are gonna take over. They're just blowing it
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? It's gonna be the ITF. I was like, where's it gonna be? It's gonna be in New York. This is who you contact. I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Nice.
So I contacted the number he gave me, and it was for Alex Aquino, Uncle Al.
Right.
He was pretty much the founder of ITF.
Yeah.
And he told me to send in a videotape,
Right.
see if I could qualify or whatever, or if I was legit. So I made a videotape. Lucky my mom them had those big bulky VHS camcorders on the shoulder.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Oh, classic.
Ended up videotaping
One take.
my small set,
Right.
sent it in, and then just waited for a little while. I don't know how long it was. And then I got a call back and I they uh, they called me back and it was Uncle Al. He's like, "Hey, I got your tape. I saw you got the you can do the crab scratch, man. That's like the you're like the first person outside of the West Coast that we've seen that can do it."
What?
It's like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, you qualify, man. Come on up. It's gonna be in New York. It's gonna be here." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Oh, that's so
So
crazy. Can we real quick, just for I try to like break down a lot of things for people watching or listening, um, stuff that maybe you and me know, but maybe others don't. Could you explain like maybe what is a crab scratch just by the way your fingers?
it's done by I guess using your thumb on the fader and your fingers just kind of roll across and your thumb is a spring and the fingers resemble the actions of a crab moving.
Nice.
So that's
Yeah.
how they got the crab scratch.
Yeah.
And it produces a very quickly chopped up sound.
Yeah. Nice, great explanation. Oh, do you know who's the originator of the crab?
I can't remember. It
I
might have
remember.
been one of the pickles,
Right.
if I remember right.
Yeah, we got to find that out. Eventually, I want to get like Red, because Red has some ties with Hawaii, and other DJs that have ties with Hawaii. That we'll talk about later. We talked about that before. Okay, so you sent the tape to Alex Aquino. Shout out to Alex Aquino and ITF. Would be nice. Would be dope if ITF could come back. I'd really enjoy that.
They just morphed into the IDA now.
Right. Oh, the idea is
I think it's IDA, but it's still three letters.
you know what I always thought they should do is ITF or DMC. They should actually have like two divisions and have like a all vinyl division and like have a digital division just because it'll be fun.
DMC did that.
Oh, they
DMC
did
did
do
that
that. Okay.
because they had all the complaints. All the vinyl guys are like, if this is real vinyl, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All the newer guys is like, we can't. It's hard to get those records now,
Yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah, this and that. So they've actually made a vinyl division,
Oh, they did.
and it's sometimes it. The hard part is not everybody has vinyl now.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's so they made that to shut up all the haters,
Oh, wow.
basically. But yeah, people entered, and it's it it's harder. It's harder for them to get signups because
Oh,
finals just harder to get now.
that's interesting. I didn't know they did that. Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about it being like a purist or a hater. I just thought it'd be cool just to have that element. You know what I mean? Not even like, oh, you can't. I seen the rants and
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever. I just like, I always like to see the taking off the record and the quick mixes and the,
You know what I kind of miss? Hearing that crispy, worn out record.
yeah,
Because it's all digital, everything sounds clean, but then sometimes when they throw on that record and you hear that coming up is like, oh, that's the part they're gonna just
yeah.
turn.
Because you know that they practiced at that part
Yeah.
for hours.
Yeah. So you hear that record burn, it's like,
The
ooh.
record burn. Yeah, nice. So then did you end up entering the ITF?
Yes. So I ended up flying out to New York, my first trip to the mainland.
Right.
Major culture shock from being
Wow.
living on the islands on Maui of all places, going to New York for the
Right.
first time. So yeah, I flew out there and I actually ended up staying with a cousin.
Oh, you had
So
a cousin in New York.
yeah, I found out I had a cousin over there.
Yeah.
My parents were like, "Oh yeah, you have a cousin," and blah blah blah. So managed to stay with them and went to the club and did my thing.
Who was so that ITF, who were some of the names that you had to battle?
Oh God, that was legendary. I was kind of like I was nervous. Like
Right.
the names in the audience that I heard. Well, of course, the big names judging were like Qbert, Shortcut, Mixmaster Mike, and of course the X-Men.
Right. Who?
And the other contestants, Babu,
Ooh,
Matic.
wow.
So I was like, I don't care, let's go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
But yeah, there was also DJ Ghetto. I remember
Yeah.
watching
Oh
him on the
wow, it's
tapes.
ghetto.
Oh, um, DJ Craze.
Oh, Craze was in that one
See,
too.
oh man, this was before he was a DMC champ.
Yeah.
So nobody knew him, but he did some routines on there that was like, oh, made everybody, perk their heads up. And they don't show this on the video, but on one of his routines that he did, it was similar to another routine that I've seen on a DMC tape from somebody else. That's why that's probably why he didn't get a high score on it,
Right,
but
right,
it
right.
got a good crowd response on it. And after he busted that routine, everybody was always chanting, "Craze, craze, craze, craze."
What?
Yeah. I think even after somebody else like did their routine, the crowd just went craze, craze, craze. Like he was a crowd favorite. He was a crowd favorite, but they cut that out of the videos.
What?
Yeah.
Who won that ITF?
That one, the
Babs.
first ITF, Rock Rada. I mean,
Rock.
not Rock Rada, uh, Eclipse,
Oh,
Total Eclipse.
Eclipse.
Yeah.
Wow. So Total Eclipse was in the battle too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that was before he was an official X-Men
X-Men.
though. But Eclipse won that. Babu took second.
Right.
I was rooting for Babu,
Right.
well, on Craze, but but yeah, Eclipse took it.
Who came in third? Was there third? Was there a third?
Mm, I don't remember. I just know it was finals and it was Eclipse and Babu in the
So
top.
what was the format like? Is everybody battled and they picked the top three to battle?
Eliminations.
So who did you have to battle?
Oh man, I don't even remember.
Was it a big name? Was it a big name battler?
I don't think so, no. I was just in the elimination rounds
Right.
and I got eliminated. So
Eliminated. That's why you
oh
forgot the guy's name.
yeah.
You're like, forget it.
And I even remember them giving shout outs like, oh, Guru just stepped in the house. So I'm
Oh,
like, man. Oh, and I think Africa Bambata was also judging. So I was
wow.
like, oh man, these are legends up in here.
So what was the reception like when you first stepped into New York and into ITF being from Hawaii?
Well, like I said, that was my first trip to the mainland, and it was a major culture shock for me. So just everything looking like everything I've seen in the movies, that was just wow, eye-opening.
What about from like some of the other DJs?
Like what do you mean?
Did you get to talk to anybody or get to like did they any of them told you like, oh my God, Hawaii, or like bugging out that you came all the way from Hawaii?
Mm, not at that one.
Right.
Not at that battle.
Everybody was mean mugging you then, huh? Everybody was
No, not necessarily. I mean I introduced myself to Babu.
yeah.
I think at the time Rhetmatic was promoting one of his new singles and he gave me a 12. I was like,
Oh nice.
wow, swag.
Hey, shout out Red.
Yeah, and that one, no, nobody knew me.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
but when I went to my first DMC in Cali, it
Right.
was I think it was supposed to be in Hollywood, one of the some venue in Hollywood, but it got moved either Stockton or Compton. I can't
Oh,
remember.
but
Yeah, it
that's
was.
cool. Stockton's all the way up north. Compton is straight up South Central. So it's most likely, well, Stockton or it might be Stockton because all the Bay Area DJs,
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
maybe not Stockton. Maybe it was Compton. I don't know my way around.
Compton, South Central. That's straight off like straight LA, LA. So wait,
But
what year was the ITF?
ITF was 96.
96. And then the DMC was
I'm guessing 97,
97 right after?
maybe 96, 97. I don't know.
Okay.
It was definitely after
You had to send them another tape, or did they automatically let you battle because the ITF?
97.
What was that
I,
process
I
like?
think that one I just had to fill out a form.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, because I lived in Hawaii,
Right.
I had to go to something on the West Coast.
Okay. This,
So I chose Hollywood because I had a friend in the LA area that I stayed with.
okay, okay, okay.
And then yeah, when they had the instructions on the door of the venue, they're like, "Oh, we're moving it to, I guess it was Compton or something."
Oh, wow.
So I was over there reading the sign, and I was all, dressed ready to go for the battle that
Right,
afternoon
right.
because, just had to go ready. And as I'm reading the sign, I hear DJ Skinny Guy. I'm like, who the hell knows me here, man? And I think because I was wearing a Aloha shirt too. I was
Right,
gonna
right,
wear
right.
my Aloha shirt.
Yeah, remember that.
I don't think Aloha shirts were really common at that time.
Yeah,
So seeing somebody with an Aloha shirt up in Cali,
right.
I hear skinny guy. I turn around and look inside this car. It was the Beat Junkies and
Oh,
Shortcut, and some of the other guys was in there,
right.
but he was the one who recognized me.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, you going in the battle?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Cool, we'll see you there." I was like, "Oh, wow."
Oh, dope. That must have been awesome to have shortcut recognize you.
Yeah,
And
that
even your
was
name too, like remember your name.
yeah, I was surprised. So yeah, I entered that battle, and that's where I met up with, I guess, Sta, the supernatural turntable
Right, yeah.
artist. Saw Doc Rice, Deuce, Swift Rock, all those guys.
Right, right, right.
Streak. Yeah.
Streak, yeah. And you're
So
saying, and you saying that there's a connection with Hawaii with Star.
yeah.
Supernatural.
One of their guys, Deuce,
Right.
Garrett, he's originally from Kauai.
Hey,
Yeah.
did not
Kauai.
know that till now. That's crazy.
Yep.
But do you know how he ended up? Star based out of the Bay too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There.
do you know? Well, shoot. So when you met him, did he say like, "Hey, I'm from Hawaii too"?
Um, I think eventually he told me he was from um he was from Kauai. And
And
I
who
think
was in
one of
who was in that battle? That DMC that was battling.
the Star guys, of course.
Yeah.
So that was Doc Rice, Swift Rock, Deuce, Streak. I think DJ Rags.
Okay, I remember that name, Rags.
Oh man.
West Coast.
Brett-
So who's battling the West Coast at that time? Any
Oh,
of the
Brett
junkie
Maddock. Brett
Red
Maddock
was
entered.
Red battle? Wow.
See, I didn't care. I was like, oh, fine. Beat Junkies in it. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, if you're down for a battle, you don't want to battle against anybody. You want the best guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that's what a
but
battle is, right?
but everybody's all cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
It's all out of competition.
was
It's
that head to
friendly
head or was
competition.
that just elimination or
That was DMC style.
style?
So, you know, routine, the six
Right.
minute routine style.
Did you make it past the first round?
That one, no.
Okay.
But but it was cool. All those guys, you know, the star guys, they welcomed me in and stuff. So it was, you know, just a bunch of DJs hanging out. It was
Yeah.
cool.
And before you, did you hear of anybody else from Hawaii entering ITF or DMC?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
And the closest thing would have been, I guess, DJ Havoc from the Beat Junkies, because seeing his pictures in the magazines or whatever, and he had the UH hat, is like, why is that guy wearing Hawaii?
Yeah.
And I don't think I met him in person, but I have met him online and we chatted and stuff. Oh, Melody. I mean, not Melody. Symphony.
Symphony, yeah.
Symphony from the Beat Junkies was at entered that DMC.
Oh, okay. Did Melody enter too?
No, I don't think so.
I remember that.
But
That's
but Symphony was there, so that was pretty cool. I got to meet the female Beat
right,
Junkie.
right, right. Any did Fit Platoon enter? Oh, they're probably on the East Coast.
Wait,
I don't think
Fifth
did they come to the West Coast on that one?
Ooh, I can't remember.
Because I feel like Star and Fifth Platoon came in around the same time, like roughly, on the scene and started killing it.
I know Fifth Platoon was East Coast,
Yeah,
and then later on Vinrock moved to the
right
Bay.
to the Bay Area. Yeah. Well, that's crazy. Shout out to DJ Havoc. Yep. I remember seeing pictures and stuff with him wearing UH stuff and Hawaii gear. And I'm like, hey, I think we actually connected online at one point, and then I think I met him, might have been 99 in LA at like a B-Boy summit or something. But we've always, I mean, every now and then we'll check in, like, I mean, every now and then, meaning years, just like, what's up, man? You know what I mean? I always love from the junkies, especially
Yeah,
Havoc and Rhett, you know.
yeah.
So after,
All the DJs I've met, everybody's
yeah.
been real cool.
Oh yeah, totally. And then so after that, any other did you travel for any other battles after that?
I think I went to a Texas one
Oh,
once.
crazy.
Yeah, I was hungry, like I said, man. And um, Fifth Platoon was there.
Oh wow.
Um, Doughboy,
Oh,
Cotton Candy, and oh shoot, what's that other guy? I think he's tall.
Rolly Roll, Finn.
I think Rolly Roll was there, but I'm not sure if he entered. But no, there was it Daddy Dog or something?
Daddy Dog, yeah. Daddy Dog.
Yeah, I
Yep, yep.
think he, I think, but I'm pretty sure I remember Doughboy and
Right.
Cotton Candy entering.
This is on the real, this is the deepest on the podcast I've ever talked about turntablism with anybody. Like, because right now we're spitting names, and I'm sure people watching this,
Oh,
what the heck are they talking about?
it was all the
Doughboy, Rolly Roll, Vin Rock,
yeah. I'm
Daddy
sure
Dog.
if you remember these names, your knees and back hurt.
Yeah.
Warning.
If you remember these names, you are officially OG for real. Like you were there when the culture of turntablism started.
Oh, right when it was blowing up,
Blowing
man.
up, blowing up. So then you came back to Maui, and then did you get into were you doing mobile DJ? Were you still battling clubs?
So so ever since I started my DJ journey, I've always been doing mobiles and doing clubs. I even did radio over here, radio mix show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a independent radio station,
Okay.
105.5. It was mostly Filipino, and then we got most of it to English format, and it was it was like top 40 rhythmic, and we started playing incorporating EDM into our shows.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, back then everybody hated us because what is this techno? And we would just keep playing it because
Right,
one of the program director, he just came back from college. Well, it was family owned, so
right.
he came back from college in the Bay, and he was influenced by the dance music there, so he
Uh,
wanted to bring that here.
right, right, right.
So and hanging around with Blast, that also gave me influences on dance music as well as other hip hop. So not only did we play, the usual top 40 stuff,
Right.
we got to incorporate EDM, EDM music, and some of the deeper hip hop on our station. So like you would hear, like stuff like Usher and Britney
Right.
Spears, and then followed up by like Jurassic 5 or something.
And then what EDM cut would you pay after that?
Oh, like David Guetta or,
Nice.
you know,
That is
or
awesome. It's funny. Next to KTUH and maybe Radio Free Hawaii, I always felt like Maui, even with the reggae side too, was always way more. They played way more like they took way more risks and they actually cultivated way more creativity on radio. Because I would listen to Maui when I would love going to Maui to listen to the reggae stations, and then, I mean, just in general, I felt like you're telling me that now, like that probably never happened. I could be wrong on an Oahu radio station. You know what I mean? Like Usher.
yeah, I remember trying to tune into Radio Free
Yeah.
and listen to Mad Mohammed, or sometimes they would live stream from like with Daniel J and
Right.
stuff like
Right. Yeah. 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 Oh, that's crazy. But so you're doing radio all that time. So did you end up starting your own like company or
that. Oh,
brand?
yeah. So I started off with my friend Chilltown, DJ Blast at Chilltown. From there, I ended up going to another company. They actually had a nightclub at the Maui Beach Hotel
Oh,
called Stylist Point. The company was Stylist Point, and they ran a club in there, and they also had mobile, so I worked for that. And then eventually, my friend made his own mobile, and he wanted me to be the DJ. He owned the gear. I just wanted to DJ.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then after a few years with him, things were changing. He was, spending more time with his, I guess, girlfriend, and, getting older and stuff. So I eventually branched off on my own,
Right, right, right.
Ace Beats, and I've been running that full time, or DJing full time, since then.
Wow. So full time. So you actually a full time DJ
For now, oh boy.
or
hope,
not?
still hoping that the economy is going to be going
Yeah,
strong. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do a lot of destination tourist based events.
Right.
So
That's dope though. Just to parlay and still be able to touch, controller, I guess. I don't know. Are you a controller guy? Are you still rocking
uh,
it with
had to had
yeah,
to make the switch.
yeah, of course. Yeah. I
My,
mean,
my my back's not getting any younger, man.
yeah.
So
Do you still have your records?
yes, I still do.
No, nice.
I'd say probably at least 5,000, maybe.
Respect.
I mean, I had to get rid of a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean,
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of it was crap, but
Right,
I
right.
could probably thin it down. But yeah, I still got a bunch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of sad to say, yeah, my techniques, they're buried in storage.
Oh,
But I mean, I still got I got my Rain 12 set
right.
up for practice. So
Well, it's the fact that you still have your texts is good because usually people sell them, then later on they regret, like, oh, I wish I didn't sell my techniques.
I can't sell those. I've only had two pairs, four
Yeah.
decks. My first pair that I got for my birthday slash Christmas. I and those are the ones I still have. So I had to
Hey.
keep those.
Right, right, right.
Other ones I bought for when I started the mobile thing, and then eventually I was like, sell those.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but
So
yeah,
let's rewind real quick. Back when you're coming up in Maui, was there any record shops, hip hop shops? I mean, Chilltown seems to be the stable name or the name I know that's been holding that held it down um, for forever. I mean, that's pretty much the hip hop. But was there shops, record shops, or any clothing shops?
yeah, digging for records.
Yeah.
My friends would always Salvation Army. Yeah, you had to. And
Yeah, yeah,
then Requests Music, they started selling
yeah.
used records, so we would go digging over there. And eventually, there's this one guy opened up a hip hop shop called The Vault
The
in the
vault.
Maui Mall,
Nice.
and yeah, it was a dedicated, I guess, hip hop shop.
Right.
Um, he brought in clothing, I guess like Skechers or Ben Davis
Yeah.
Interstate kind of brands.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had a DJ set up in the store, and he only allowed me and my friend to to go there.
Oh,
So everybody else, nope. But me and him is like, oh yeah, come behind the counter
right, right,
whenever you
right.
want. Yeah.
Oh, nice. How long did that last for, that shop?
Oh, I don't I don't even remember.
Because it's
Man.
gotta be hard, because you gotta make money.
Yeah.
Pop shop on Oahu is even hard to survive.
I don't remember how long it lasted, but no. Okay, yeah, that. No.
So as it for Hawaii hip hop, did you ever get a chance to like DJ for any MCs or DJ any opening or DJ with any um touring DJs or touring artists coming to Maui or other places?
Mm, I was I know for Oahu,
Yeah.
there was supposed to be another battle that I was gonna fly up for, but I think things fell through. You know what? I think I was actually supposed to have battled Skid that day,
Oh, okay. Shout out
but
DJ Skid.
then something happened, and it was at the source.
Okay.
So what happened was we ended up, I me and this other guy just ended up doing small routines to open up for Militia.
Oh,
Yeah. That
militia. Which group was
was,
that?
oh geez, I can't think of the song right now, but they're probably like one hit wonders.
Okay, maybe that's why. So
Yeah.
you actually came to Hawaii then? I mean
To
Oahu, I mean,
Oahu.
and you
Yeah.
and you did some stuff at the source, and then you opened up for the group militia.
Yeah, opened up for that. Um, yeah, that was pretty much it. There was gonna be another group on Maui. That somebody I don't know if you heard of Robert Suhako.
No, not that I can
Yeah,
recall.
he produces I guess some artists over here,
Right, right, right.
and I think he was working on on a with a hip hop group. I know I think Raji might have been with one of the guys, but
Right.
yeah, that one fell through.
Oh, okay.
Like
This
I
is all
remember
Maui.
doing promo pics and everything, and then
Oh, wow.
yeah, just nothing happened.
Nothing happened. So what was the name was it a group? Was the name of a group or just a MC?
It was a group.
Oh,
There was like three guys. Shoot.
wow. But they never took off. Was it like
No,
what kind of hip hop was it?
it was, I guess, more commercial-ish kind of.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think it was off the block or something. I don't know.
I need to search that out. It's
Yeah,
like it's always funny to, I mean, to search odd, odd music. Not odd music because it's hip hop technically, but when you find those ones, you're like, oh wow, that's interesting.
okay. I don't
Yeah.
know who else. There's
Anybody else to note?
I don't know. There's always Jimmy, Goldon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Goldon.
yeah. Shout out Gold on One, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's doing his thing. All right. Did you lock in with any of the when b-boy? I remember what years I was coming up there and I was helping out with a lot of the b-boy jams with Brandon that works at 180 808 all day. We would do jams out there at like I think it was at the War Memorial. We did a couple in front of there. The Filipino Filipino Center. We did a shoe jam and like I think a b-boy battle there. And I was always wondering, where's Skinny Guy?
Yeah. Yeah. I've done some like
Right,
somewhere
right.
at the Kahului Community
Yeah,
Center and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but after a while, after I had to start adulting,
Mm, yeah,
I lost track of like
yeah,
who's doing what.
scene, yeah.
But it was always more, I guess, the B-boys that had more things going on,
Right, right,
not
right.
too much of the turntablist scene over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's also, I guess, Boom Shot, DJ Boom Shot.
Okay, I heard that name before, yeah.
Yeah, I think he works or used to work at Request Music, and
Right.
yeah, he's into the tablet scene too.
Oh, nice. Shoot, man. So what do you think for especially neighbor island DJs, MCs, artists, like what I get from you is you just really almost like reckless faith went out there like it's in New York, I'm going there. Do you think that still applies today for anybody from the islands that wants to make it?
I don't, I don't know. I just like that term, reckless faith. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much what it was. I mean, it's just putting yourself out there. Um, I had the belief that it doesn't matter where you're from. You're gonna represent who you are, and you know, if you got what it takes,
Right.
you're gonna show and prove.
Awesome. Right on. Anything else you got for us, DJ Skinny Guy?
Um, hmm, I don't know. No, I guess I could bring up how I guess what was that? Oh yeah, how I ran into I guess the nocturnal guys or how
Oh
they
yeah,
discovered.
yeah, totally, totally.
So I guess up until that point, nobody or you guys had an inkling that I was from
Right.
off island.
Yeah.
Um, I was chatting with Wando, BM13.
Shout out Wando.
I was chatting with him online, so I guess he kind of helped start whatever rumors, like, oh, he's from Maui or whatever. And at the county fair on Maui, in the those tents where they would sell stuff.
Right, right.
Back then, people would sell bootleg CDs, burnt CDs, and people from Oahu would fly over and buy a booth so they could sell their stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the Oahu people that came over came down. Oh, I was DJing at one of the booths because the Vault, the hip hop shop here, he got a booth there, and he's like, "Yeah, come in." So I was like, "Okay," get into the fair free.
Right. Yeah.
So I go DJ for his booth, and one of the Oahu guys sees me doing cuts and stuff. He introduces himself, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, I'm Randy, DJ Skinny Guy." And then he looks up, he's like, "You're a DJ Skinny Guy." I was like, "Yeah, we've been talking about you.
Yeah.
So you are from Maui." I'm like, "Who's been talking?" He's like, "Dude, there's like all these people here." Wow, cool, nice to meet you. And I can't remember which one it was,
Right, right, right.
but he gives me his card, and it was I'm pretty sure either he was from Nocturnal or he knew somebody from Nocturnal
Right, right,
because
right,
the
right.
owl on it. So I
Oh,
was like,
okay. Well, there was is it Logo Lowell? So it's either Steve ETA, Logo Lowell, Tony Deception. Could have been
it
Jammy
it wasn't Jammy and
or
it wasn't
Compose.
Deception because I remember meeting them. It wasn't them, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
might have been one of the other guys.
Well, I'm gonna ask those guys who met Skinny Guy in the Maui
But
State Fair.
I know if I dig around, I could probably find that business card.
Oh, what? That's crazy. You kept that car.
Right. Nah.
Oh, that's crazy, man. Well, that's dope, dude. I mean, how I think it's awesome that, like you said, I think one thing about the turntable community, I mean, I feel it's different from the DJ community because I think I've never felt hate or, it's always battle, but then after that was always love. Like,
Yeah,
people
it was always cool.
get
Not like
together,
how
clap.
the MCs they just
Yeah.
come at each other. But
Yeah,
all the turntablists I've come across, everybody's been cool.
right, right. I mean, worldwide technically. I mean, I remember you did you come to Hawaii for ITF championship, world championship?
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
That was like the only one here. Yeah, I
that's
made it to that.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
That was fun. That was a pack. That was a good show. That was a good one.
I'm wondering, what if I was the influence for it to come down?
I mean, I have no maybe,
Because
dude.
because I even in like forums I'd be telling them like, or wherever I'd be like, have it in Hawaii, have a
Yeah,
championship in Hawaii, and sometimes they would be like, yeah, maybe. So
it's you and Wando.
yeah, could be Wando.
Because Wando was everywhere on the internet. He was every chat group, he's a I mean, he made his own language. You know what I mean? So I mean, it probably was the influence of you battling up there and Wando doing his networking. But yeah,
Oh
that
wow.
was a good time for Hawaii hip hop and for turntablism because you had all those the scratch perverts come through, all the Japanese DJs. I think J. performed that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was like the pure. I felt like, man, that's like a pure hip hop. That's what I always say. That's what it felt like when I went to New York or California for like b-boy summits or rock steady reunions or things like that. I would travel to the mainland for that, and that's what that ITF felt like because you had all elements and it was everybody just hungry
Yeah.
to like see hip hop.
Yeah, instead of us having to travel there, it's like, oh, finally you guys travel here.
Yeah,
Yay.
and the world travel. That's the crazy part is the world traveled to Hawaii.
Yeah, the world came here. Oh man, who was here? Was it Prime Cuts
Yep,
and A Track?
yep. And then
And
I,
yeah, went on the boat thing, saw
oh,
saw MC Sway and
yep. And, had the who's DJing? Tony Touch, I think was
I can't
DJing.
remember.
Were you on the boat when we had to turn the boat around? You remember that?
Um,
Because we were banging,
uh,
everybody was banging the ceiling.
oh,
But you remember that, like, 'cause I think that I mean, everybody got on the boat cruise and it went out, and then I think because I forget who was DJing, I could have swear it was Tony Touch was DJing, and he started playing like rowdy hip hop. I don't know, maybe like Scenario or something, or like The Choice Is Yours by Black Sheep. I couldn't remember everybody banging the ceiling with their
oh
fists
man.
to a point where they're like, "Okay, we're turning the boat around." They docked the boat because it was getting too rowdy, and I think people were like smoking weed in the bathroom, and like, I mean, that was a crazy time. But anyway, Skinny Guy, anything else to say?
No, I think that's all my stories for now.
Right on. Hey, I'd like to thank DJ Skinny Guy coming all the way from Maui, a Hawaii hip hop pioneer, DJ, turntablist, represented us all the way from Maui, New York, LA. Thanks, Skinny Guy. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining Alanui
Thanks for
MELE,
having me. Thanks
Hawaii
for
Hip
letting
Hop
me
History on PBS Hawaii.
tell my story. Yeah, thanks.
Right on. Aloha. Peace.
Roots.